Hey guys, good morning. Robert Trembat, CTO for AIO Integrations, here with the weekly rant for our In the Queue vlog. And just sorry we're a couple days late. It's been a crazy week. I've had like 3 Mondays in a row. People sick, people out of town, all sorts of fun like that. So I'm a little behind in getting this out. But want to get with you guys on a couple things. There's been some good news and some bad news again. Good news, there's been some significant takedowns in the last month. We covered one of them last week, but we're going to talk about a couple more this week. But there also is there's a lot of bugs being patched. Top of our headlines today: Microsoft is patching basically 114 vulnerabilities that were and some exploited by ransomware groups recently. So some of these have been around since 2013. And zero-day exploits, if you're not sure what that is, you've heard that term, you don't know what that is, for any given software, okay, there is basically what they call it, there's bugs they don't have answers to. They don't know how to fix. There's exploits, problems that exist. That's in Windows, that's in Mac, that's in Linux, that's in your browser software, that's in everything. And these are known problems. They are working on fixes for them. As they get fixes, they release it. That's why you always have patches and updates to fix this. Microsoft addresses 114 of those on Patch Wednesday. So really big deal. Make sure you patch your systems. We have noticed on some systems this patch is affecting the Bluetooth connectivity on these devices. In other words, like the Bluetooth goes away. If you have that happen, just uninstall it and then uninstall that particular patch and then let it reinstall itself automatically later. Usually fixes the problem. For some reason, when this patch is forced, sometimes it kills the Bluetooth stack. Now, it's far and few between. It did happen to me, so I have personally witnessed this on my own system. So just giving you a heads up. All right, HIPAA wanting to definitely, or HHS actually wanting HIPAA to change, make more changes, more protective changes to how it deals with reproductive health information. So ever since Roe versus Wade was overturned, they're starting to get a little more protective of that information. Something I want to go down in here on also is that Latitude Financial, this is an Australian firm, 14 million customers were exposed in this breach. They're basically trying to exploit millions of dollars for the recovery of this data. And like any good responsible company should do, because they should have things in place to deal with this, they should refuse to pay these ransoms. The reason why this continues to get out of hand is because the ransoms are being paid. So as long as they continue to make money, they are going to continue to do this, and this will continue to grow. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. There's an area I want to hit here about you Apple users. There's actually a suspected Apple iOS zero-day exploit that's being used to spread spyware. And iOS, now there's OS X and there's iOS. iOS is the operating system for the iPads and iPhones. Now, there is an iPad iOS now that is an iOS for iPad that's separate from the phone software itself, iOS. But from my understanding, this affects all iOS loads, so it's both of those. Where OS X, the desktop software, is not affected by this particular thing. So I want to kind of talk about this for a minute, because I have so many people tell me, oh, I have an Apple because Apple can't be, isn't vulnerable. Well, you know what? That was true to a point, maybe a couple of years ago, but it's not anymore. About April of last year, we saw stuff in the wild. We saw ransomware in the wild that runs natively on both Linux and Apple. It uses it's very low latency. It uses the actual libraries, encryption libraries built into those operating systems that are based on Unix and Linux, by the way. Apple OS X is based on Unix. And to encrypt the contents and perform ransomware operations. So spyware, ransomware, these kind of things have been operating system agnostic for the past almost a little over a year now. So at least that's what we know of. So I can tell you right now that if you're using Apple because you think it's not susceptible and you don't have any kind of protection on your system, you know, to protect you against those kind of things, then you're greatly mistaken. Attacks on Macs are up 450%. Phishing attacks overall to people for stealing credentials, things like that through email are up 600% over last month. So it is absolutely huge, vital. If you do not know if you do not actually, uh, not schooled on or not ever taken any awareness classes, our company actually offers a free cybersecurity awareness class. All you have to do is register and apply, ask to take the course. We'll approve it within 24 hours and it's completely free to you. It gives you a certificate at the end. You are going to get tested. You have to pass the test to get the certificate. It's mainly to see if you pay attention, but I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. And this is completely free. It's for anybody who wants to do it, and it's for the purpose of giving you meaningful cybersecurity training, making you aware of what's happening. I've been doing training like this for over 3 years. I'm the one who has actually done the course and put it into play, and our company is sponsoring it and putting it out in the open for free. People need to be educated. You need to become the frontline soldiers to this, because if you don't change how you deal with these things as end users, as individuals, then it's never going to get better. Because right now, 9 to 10 breaches are coming from you, the end users. They're happening. They aren't hacking firewalls. It doesn't matter if you're on a VPN or behind a firewall. The method in which they're getting in is hacking people. So you need to be aware of how to detect it, how to protect yourself against it, and how to recognize what is legitimate and what isn't. And that's the purpose of the training. All right. This is what I was talking about here. Cybercrime is hitting basically it's initial access listings. What that means is the number of known victims that they're publishing out is growing. Even though they've had major takedowns to Breach Forums and Genesis and some other gangs, it's still a problem. There was a big takedown of a group last month. There was a huge group, but the problem is what happens is they take down part of the group, they arrest some people they can find, and then the rest just kind of disperse and become parts of other groups. So it's like trying to kill an anthill. If you don't get the queen and all, the queen is relying on the worker bees and the other way around. But if you can't, you got in this industry, you got to almost take down everybody. You got to take down the queen and the worker bees, because the worker bees just go find other queens to work for, and that's or the worker ants. I'm using two different metaphors there. Sorry, I told you I was having one too many Mondays. And we're seeing more of a threat into the healthcare industry. So you're going to see a lot of things happening. Discord is becoming a little more like right now. We're seeing this big Pentagon link. Can't talk either today. The big Pentagon leak is centered around Discord, and Discord is been the center of a lot of distribution points for leaks. Not to mention hacks itself. But they're trying to get a little better about that. But it's a free, it's a free speech platform, and that's part of it. I wanted to talk with you guys today about the fact that you don't ever want to find yourself on the other side of this coin. In other words, our saying in our industry is it's too late to fix the plane after it's already crashed. It's too late. It's the damage is it's just too vast to fix, and most likely will put you out of business. So there's two things that we're going to talk about in our next session, but this is not, I'm not going to go on sales. This is going to be about the actual training. So if you go to AIO integrations, and I'm just going to show you where this is, because I'm not actually trying to promote a product here. I'm trying to promote training, which is free. Oh, isn't that nice? Let's try spelling our name correctly. There we go. All right. So you see here on our front page is announcing free online cybersecurity awareness training. If you click here, you will go into our training site. And in our training site, you just need to simply go over here and sign up. It just requires your name, email address, create a password for yourself. Then you can go into courses, and you can choose this course right here. It is free. If you want to see what the course entails, you can find here. You can see my profile, my qualifications, and you can see the breakdowns for the lessons. There's 3 of them. It takes about, I'm going to say, a little over an hour. The first 2 sections have about 5 questions each, which you have to pass with 80%, and it's just to see if you're paying attention. The last one has about 15 questions, and it covers everything. And again, you need to score 80% or higher. You can retake it. It will allow you to retake the test up at each area up to 2 times, and it is timed. So the smaller sections, I think, are 5 minutes, and the last one is 10. When you complete, it is not hard. Okay, this isn't school testing. This is mainly to see if you're paying attention and you've learned something from it. Once you get this, you complete it, it will give you a cybersecurity certificate, awareness training certificate from us that you can download, you can print, you can put on your wall, you can provide it for work. If you are paying for cybersecurity insurance, it can actually help deduce your premiums. It can reduce your premiums for some providers, not for all. So good thing to have. We don't care whether you're a company, an individual. This is free to everybody. We want you to use it. There is a little bit of advertising in the last couple of minutes of the 3rd section, because we use this training also for the people that have purchased our managed cybersecurity product. And so we want them to know what they're getting with our product. And if you aren't familiar with our product, then we'll tell you about the product itself. But it's just a couple of minutes, and it gives you a kind of a brief overview of what managed cybersecurity looks like and what we provide. That is at the end of that training, but just like I said, it's a couple of minutes compared to the overall thing. This is mainly education, and we were using it at first for our paid people, so it wasn't an advertisement, but now we have turned it into free for everybody. And so you will have to see that couple minutes at the last part. Pardon my sales language. Hope I encourage you very much. If you've never had this kind of training, I very much encourage you to take it. There's a lot of good information here for how to manage your online life. We talk about in some areas, we talk about the threat to your kids and what they're doing and what the overall plan hackers have for going after our kids or schools. We also talk about some common practices and things you should be doing in your everyday life. Like the common question of, you hand them your Visa debit card. You want to do credit or debit? Which one's better? Why? We talk about those things. So, and why it's important to use one over the other. We also talk about how to recognize credit card skimmers, things like that. So there's a lot of useful information in day-to-day life that will help you. Anyway, that's the end of our weekly rant this week. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully I will get it done on Monday or Tuesday instead of Thursday. And have a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys had a great Easter.